Now, when I think Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you probably think I'm thinking a multitude of things. Would be weapons, among many other weapons, or maybe classes. Maybe like a class like one that involves dexterity, where you need deodorant. Same with a sorcerer. But for today's video, I want to take a deeper look into, if you couldn't already tell what class, Wretched, Deprived, and whatever it's called in Bloodborne. Obviously, it's the challenge run class. It's meant to be hard. It's challenging. So some people say that they do it because it's challenging. Some people say that, oh, I didn't know what build to choose, and then they'll have a certain weapon in mind, which I think is a little egotistical. Which, get mad, whatever. I don't even care. But as it intends, it is the challenge class, and as someone who only has 8 working fingers, it's going to be extra challenging. But I hope you enjoy my video today, and without further ado, let's get into it. Now, Elden Ring is obviously a way newer game that's a little built different, where dual wielding weapons actually works. So as you can see here, as the Wretch, I have 2 clubs, but I'm gonna go test them out. Now, for my honest opinion, I think the easiest game to play solo one in is either Dark Souls 1 or Elden Ring, but more on that later. The damage with one club is pretty great in this game. I actually have used clubs up until endgame, only clubs. And dual wielding is also pretty good. Obviously, it's not the best damage, but in a game where people wear armor and are, the size of buildings, Radon, and can give entire, areas of the world a disease, I wouldn't think that pretty much a toothpick with ropes on the end of it that you don't even put around your hands will really do much. But the weapon altogether later on can be pretty good. Nothing like the occult one from Dark Souls 1, but good damage. Well, more of decent damage, but if people can fight Margit with a level 0 weapon completely unleveled up, then obviously it's, pretty good weapon. If you're good, that is. But altogether, not really difficult, just because Elden Ring is such a bigger game, and there's so many more buffs. There's an entire flask used for either buffs, healing, or regaining one thing or another, or even gaining stats, which is pretty crazy. Why I think personally this class is better in this game, especially if you're doing a soul level 1 playthrough, rune level 1 playthrough. But yeah, no rings, no certain armor. Well, you can add even more, but you catch what I mean, I hope. All in all, for Elden Ring's, Wretch, whatever, level 1 class, it's gonna be a 10 out of 10. Especially with the ability to dual wield, I know that kind of defeats the purpose of, the whole level 1 thing, but, trust me, many speedrunners have done it for this game, and unreal times, and this game is huge compared to the others. So, easily, an S when it comes to a rating. Now we get to my favorite FromSoft game, Dark Souls 3. After creating your amazing character, you have to go and fight a actually mandatory boss where you have to win, unlike in Elden Ring. I don't care what anyone says, Margit and Tree Sentinel are not a tutorial boss. It is the Grafted Scion. I know you're not supposed to win against them, but I don't know. That's just what they did for that game. In this game, though, you have to defeat them. Now, this class in this game comes with a shield, which you don't in Elden Ring. Or maybe you do, and I just never equipped it. But, pretty straightforward fight, and he's not supposed to be too difficult, but he's not supposed to be too easy, because, they're throwing you into this game. It's, the series is difficult for a reason. Now, if you're a parry god, and you try this, one problem is gun to your shield, sorry, not gun to your shield, the shield you are given cannot parry, you bash with it. It took me 2 tries actually, because both times I tried using the shield, which it doesn't work like that, but altogether, pretty easy boss, especially if that jump attack you do, it's pretty great. But now, stats for the weapon, not the highest damage, not the lowest, especially if you two-hand it. And for its one hand, just a club. For its two hand, charge up attack, and then you do this beautiful jump attack. It's glorious. Now for the shield, this is what I was talking about. This threw me off too many times. Unsure if it's, workable because for a fast boss at Gundyr, I just, got murderized. But overall in this game too, pretty easy beginning class. Kinda a little more difficult, but yeah, it's for not the faint of heart. I'm sure many other people, have done better than I can, but without further ado, now it's time for the best From Software game of all time. Now, as every, Dark Souls 2 playthrough begins, it's you running through this area, which this is Dark Souls 2 Scholar. The first then, I used the more newer stuff, so for Dark Souls 1, I will be using the remaster. I did not have the chance to play Dark Souls 2, the original, but from what I've heard, apparently you get chased by dogs or something in the beginning of the game, but you make it to this room, get insulted by some old ladies, who I never try to murder, but apparently if you try, some bad stuff happens, but, make your character a starter, make him look like a caveman, but I was in for a treat when I did Deprived. I did not look at my inventory, and you'll see my reaction here in a second of what I did with my character. I was very confused originally because, my HUD was off, but I made it to Firelink, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Besides my starting gift, which is a ring. So, I think that's pretty cool. I know that Dark Souls 2 is known for the soul level 1 because if you kill the map guy from Majula, Kale, I think, you get his helmet, which gives you plus 2 different stats, which people then use for the rapier and the mace. There's also the rings, obviously, but... So, I did the Zero anyway and used the Broken Straight Sword to fight the last giant. It's not bad, I'm bad, that's the problem, but I also did not, I tried to keep it at level 1, so I didn't level up for any of these characters, and I also, I'm using the absolute, well, it's a usable weapon in Dark Souls 2, but, I actually end up dying to this boss, and, did not come back just because he died at one hit, and I was upset, but, after doing these, characters and whatnot, I gotta say, I might do some soul level and rune level ones for the, channel, but it's just mostly in the beginning just, kneecapping your enemy, or more like ankling, so you're stabbing him in the ankles, but, his boss movement's really easy, it's the stomps, because, you kind of use your stamina to attack, and I'm using it constantly because my weapon's, well, garbage, it's a broken straight sword. Could be worse. Honestly, I also, went to equip the buckler, best shield in the game, and, you can't use that as a requirement that's like 13 or something, or 11. But yeah, I'm gonna say that Dark Souls 2 is ought to be the most difficult one out of the bunch. Like, this was, I don't know. Dark Souls 1, what I think personally is the easiest one. Could be because the tutorial boss is, easy, but I think it's just because it's Dark Souls 1. It's filled with a lot of glitches. Don't get me wrong that Elden Ring is probably also the easiest, but that's only because at level 1 for Elden Ring you can drink things to, get something that would happen if you leveled up, like plus 20 in many physics from the physics, so you get like plus 10 in 2 different stats, depending what you add in the physics, but yeah, normal run-of-the-mill Asylum demon fight, a bit different, because, your weapon of choice is literally just a toothpick in a world full of, demons, monsters, and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me that people like my friend BetterMuffin03, shout out, for his entire guide and platinum playthrough for Dark Souls Remastered, he used bonk weapons. It's just weird to me that you could defeat people who are literal gods or immortal, as such as Seath, with huge toothpicks, but yeah. I think giant clubs, so I'm unsure, I cannot remember if he did a progressively better club each time, which is what I'm actually doing in Elden Ring right now, but yeah, pretty easy, it's the tutorial boss for a reason. Now, technically it could have been the easiest on this list if I used black fire bombs, but I think that would defeat the entire purpose. I say that, but then for Elden Ring, I showed me dual wielding the two, but I created the video, so I get to do whatever I want. But yeah. And now back at Firelink, to show off the attacks, and yeah, I ought to put Dark Souls Remastered at easily number 2 for this challenge. It's nothing difficult. it's, you know, it's the first Souls, not counting Demon Souls, in the actual, like, you know, Souls series. So the Dark Souls trilogy, which stinks that they're not making a fourth one. But you know, obviously start Bloodborne, make your character. You can't really go for more of a caveman build because, well, for starters, you kind of choose you know, you got to go choose a weapon and whatnot. But it's pretty versatile, uh, weapon wise, because, well, you have to choose a weapon at the beginning: the cane, the axe, or the sawtooth weapon, and then you can choose between the two, you know, guns. But I don't know. I haven't watched too many runs on Blood Level 4 or whatever, but it seems pretty easy as well. I don't really know, like, if the game was, you know, none of these games are really meant to be built around not leveling up, but I kind of feel like they kept around because people, you know, were doing stuff like that, but it's your every run-of-the-mill cleric beast fight. It's like, it's so normal. I should have done Gascoigne as well, but, like, I don't know, people, you could probably, there's people out there probably do, like, just people who are beating these games with, like, saxophones, pianos, blind. I just got 8 working fingers, like, nothing too bad, but pretty easy fight. Would have been so much easier if I had oiled pots. Nothing really to say for this fight, but just me trying to fill in the void. I don't think, like, because I'm not even sure, like, does he drop the workshop? No, he drops the one thing that you use to buy stuff. Uh, you could kill this guy with literally, like, any of the sort of weapons. My first playthrough, I took the axe. I knew nothing about the Bloodborne anything. I just saw it on sale and purchased it, but yeah, it's just your normal run-of-the-mill fight, nothing too difficult. I don't even end up using the pungent blood cocktails. So I'm gonna put Bloodborne up there these years. So my final list is gonna be Elden Ring, Dark Souls Remastered, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and Dark Souls 2. You can disagree all you want. Again, it's not really about, like, who's right and who's wrong, because what the cool thing about this is that it's my opinion. But with that being said, I am plinplon Warrior. Thank you for sticking around. If you are a longtime channel member, then you know that I did end up getting a better headset. This is a better headset, but now there's a problem. I have a bigger room, and now there's an echo. So now I need to get sound padding. If you go and watch my old videos, you'll hear my washer machine of a headset. But as I was saying, I'm plinplon Warrior. If you like my channel, please consider subscribing. Go check out other videos if you want. I have a few bangers up there. And yeah, have a good day, night, wherever you are, and love y'all.